I'll myself
Just in case.
watch the show. I'm legit. The Producers was my favourite musical.
The Producers. What's The Producers?
The musical The Producers, based on the movie The Producers.
What's the movie The Producers?
The Mel Brooks movie The Producers.
I've literally never heard of this in my entire life.
What?
What's the plot?
Seriously?
What's the plot?
They put on a bad play on purpose because they can get the investment back if the play bombs.
Why are we doing a podcast and not that?
Because in that they make the play that make bad on purpose is called Springtime for Hitler, and they put it on and everyone's like awestruck by how terrible it is until the guy playing Hitler comes out and everyone goes, "Oh, it's funny, it's fine," and it makes millions of dollars, and then they go to prison. There's a movie and a musical, and a movie of the musical.
Why am I kind of obsessed? Why have I never heard of that?
Nathan Lane's in the musical.
Is he Hitler?
No.
That's a waste, but yeah.
He plays Max Bialystock, the corrupt theatre producer, who used to be very successful, but over time, success died. You've all heard of theatre in the round. You look at the man who invented theatre in the square. Nobody had a good seat.
Okay, first
That's
of all,
funny.
like, you do not need to shout.
That's how he does it in the musical.
That's so aggressive.
Every word of that's in my head still.
You kind of sounded like him then.
Do you like Mel Brooks movies?
I'm-
You don't know Mel Brooks movies, God bless you.
I don't know Mel
Young
Brooks.
Frankenstein? Blazing Saddles? Right, okay, so...
Wasn't that a band in the 90s?
No, Mel Brooks was a writer on...
I think you should introduce this podcast instead of going on that tangent.
Hi, this is I'll Be Mother Podcast, the podcast in which we do cross-cultural exchanges like we're doing right now. My obsession and interest with Mel Brooks and comedy in general. And how modern comedy has a lot to thank Mel Brooks for.
Uh-huh.
So in the black and white TV days... Don't forget to speak into your microphone.
When I have something to speak, I'll do that.
In the black and white TV days, when there was only 2 channels, one of the biggest things happening
Yeah, how was that?
It's funny. Sid Caesar's Show of Shows, it was a sketch show, yeah? And the writers on that show all went on to do big things. Mel Brooks, Carl Reiner, who did Spinal Tap, well, he was in Spinal Tap, he didn't write Spinal Tap. Woody Allen, all those other people. They knocked around for years and eventually got these hits. Mel Brooks' first big hit was The Producers, which we've just talked about. But his big cultural zeitgeist thing was Blazing Saddles, a western, a spoof. He invented the spoof genre.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What's that got to do with Yentl?
We were talking about Yentl before we went out. We were talking about musicals.
They'll figure out. You don't need to speak to
So,
them.
yeah,
You don't need to slow down, and they'll get it.
Mel makes all these really successful comedy movies until it gets into the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes Dracula Dead and Loving It with Liam... No, Frank Drebin from Naked Gun.
Liam Neeson.
It's not Liam Neeson because he's the new one. He's the old one. You know who I mean, the internet.
He's not the old one?
No, because Naked Gun's a different conversation. We'll get back to that at some point in the future.
Really
That's the
hope that we
Zuckerbergs. But
I
anyway,
really hope that we don't.
yeah, his career kind of flatlined because he was getting older. Hollywood was less interested.
Oh, Muffin.
So I just listened to like 3 podcasts with Nathan Lane because he's promoting that Disney Plus thing, and he was talking about this.
That was fun.
Yeah. He's sitting he's at poolside with his husband, who's a big fan of Mel Brooks's hot wife, whose name was, oh god damn it, this was all in my head yesterday. She's in an episode of The Simpsons. She was Anne Bancroft, like an attractive old lady. Imagine. I said that to try and get a rise out of Frankie, but he's just deadpanning me. That's fine. Yeah. So Anne Bancroft was in The Graduates. You know.
I know The Graduate.
Yeah.
Wait, is in
As the old lady.
famous
Yeah.
Mrs.
Yeah. So.
Rowe.
So Nathan Lane's husband's like, oh my god, I want to go talk with Anne Bancroft, and he said, but I can't do it. So he runs away because he's too shy. But Mel Brooks spots him and says, hey, come sit in the pool with us, Nathan Lane. So he sits in the pool with him and he says, I'm working on a stage production of my great show, The Producers. And obviously he's seen The Producers because everyone saw The Producers, man. Everyone.
Uh-huh.
And this was like post 9/11. Everyone was all upset about stuff. We were all looking for a big laugh again. It's like everything on the stage just became dead solemn and somber for a long time. And eventually money happens, the stage gets written, plays get written. The producers breaks out on stage, huge. We were talking, I don't know if we even got it on camera, about how musicals based on movies aren't musicals.
Yeah. Well, yeah, how they're a bit.
This was the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, he really was the first for everything.
Yeah, and everyone, all those started because that was so successful. Millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Like, not like Spamalot, which was so successful they built its own theatre to host it. Which is a Monty Python movie turned into a musical. Monty Python, of course, made other successful movies like...
Is that thing with Mr. Bean?
No. It's not the thing with Mr. Bean at all. Monty Python were a British sketch group.
Blackadder.
Yeah, Blackadder. No, a few decades after. Monty Python were a British sketch group who were much... Funnily enough, I don't know how the conversation's flown this way. Mel Brooks and Monty Python, my biggest comedy influences. I saw Mel Brooks movies when I was too young.
Those are your biggest comedy influences.
Absolutely.
I'm not seeing it. Continue.
Well, you've not seen the movie, so you don't know.
I'm not seeing... Yeah, fair enough.
When I was a lad, the movie was Robin Hood Men in Tights, which was a Robin Hood spoof. Dave Chappelle's first movie, actually. And it was one of those things that I was too young to go see, but we got to rent the video from the Blockbusters all the time because they didn't give a fuck in the Blockbusters. Not even the Blockbusters, we didn't have a Blockbusters, it was the video rental shop. So I just obsessively watched that and rewatched that. And I like with Monty Python Holy Grail, I could do that whole movie for you line for line if you wanted to, which of course you don't. I forgot the point I was making there.
See, this is why you would benefit from therapy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Why?
And this is why we're here to talk about our sponsor, BetterHelp.
Why would I benefit from her therapy? Because I enjoy comedy.
No, just having somebody who is paid to listen.
100% agree. 100% agree. Yeah.
I'll tune in when we start getting monetized. But,
sure. Yeah.
Until then.
But the fact that you have to sit there and listen, even though I know you're paying attention, that's good enough for me.
I was paying attention.
What did I say?
Something about Mr. Bean.
Yeah, it all goes back to being too young to grasp a lot of the comedy, but getting into the bits that were funny. I had it in my mind that I had to be Jewish in order to be funny, because Mel Brooks was Jewish, and there's a lot of Jewish stuff in the movies, and that's just how it happened. Spaceballs as well. Spaceballs, the Star Wars spoof, so that was two of my loves intersecting.
Oh, I know that one.
You've seen Spaceballs?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. That was another big one. They tried to make a cartoon of that, and that didn't work. But movies based on musicals is what we were talking about there.
Do you know what? See, this is why people think that you are neurotypical. Not what's the opposite of neurotypical? What's that one?
Atypical?
Neurodivergent. This is why people think that you're neurodivergent. Because you talk like a Wikipedia page, you know, with like the headings and like how you just like
just one
go
that's not
from
been
like
filled out.
yeah,
one that's not been filled out with
a lot
detail.
of like TBD. Yeah.
I want that written on my tombstone. There was a lot of TBD.
That would be apt.
Do you feel like you've learned anything from that barrage of words?
I will have learned something from it when I go back and watch it.
Yes.
And actually listen to it.
I don't know if you'd like the producers, the original movie, but you'd like the musical because Nathan Lane's in it.
I'd like the musical, would I?
Because you like Nathan Lane, and it's more modern. Uma Thurman is in it.
Oh.
Matthew Broderick.
I'll tell you what Uma Thurman was in. The NBC hit show Smash.
Was that NBC hit show Smash?
Smash. So, we open in on New York, okay?
Yeah.
Auditions for a show called Bombshell. Who's Bombshell about? Marilyn Monroe. They're auditioning like the different Marilyns. We have the one who won American Idol first. She's like the girl next door. She's the brunette. She's like the one that you wouldn't think, because can she be risque like Marilyn? No, she's too much of a good guy. And then you have Megan Hilty, the blonde, buxom. But she is a bombshell, and she has the voice to match as well. And it's like, who's gonna win? The ingenue who fits the Norma Jean part, or the one who's like Marilyn from the get-go? You don't care, do you?
No, I could see myself watching that. Like, it's 1950s-y aesthetic.
It's not. It's modern day. It's like a musical about Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. No, then no.
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Has Deborah Messing in. That's... No, I'll say something that actually will make you watch it. Angelica Houston.
I like Angelica Houston.
Is that not how you?
I don't know.
Who?
Houston.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
I think we covered a lot of bases there. What would you say your comic influences were? What do you think shaped
My comic influences. I'm not a cunt.
What shaped your sense of humor then?
My mother's drinking.
Clip it.
Is that a reference I don't get?
It's a podcast thing.
It's a podcast thing. How many podcasts have you been in?
I watch and listen to a lot of them, and they say
You
clip
watch
it
and
when it's
listen.
something.
Do they though? Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Name one podcast where that's happened. Or is it a D&D one? Is it a D&D one?
So I would say that my comic influences, outside of the one that we've talked about, what about The Simpsons? Do you think that's shaped? Yeah, I think that's a generational thing.
Are you asking if it shaped me?
Yeah. I think that's a generational thing. A lot of people my age...
You know what?
You could tell Simpsons people my age from how they talk.
I actually think when I turn to the side, I actually do think I'm shaped like a Simpsons character. No, I'm being like so serious. Like their chins. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
You know what? I think The Simpsons, like... That was a lot of my first crushes.
Really?
Yeah.
Which character?
Ned Flanders, the janitor, what's his name, Willie? Groundskeeper Willie.
Oh my god, so rough.
Sideshow Bob.
I
thought they were pretty... Yeah.
Was the Ned Flanders thing because he was buff under his shirt? Or
yeah.
Just... Okay.
I like the mustache. He looks a little like... porny. I like a good man. You know, there was like in like the Simpsons movie, he like makes Bart this like amazing hot chocolate.
He's really good in the Simpsons movie, isn't he? He's a
so
they've focused in on the attractive elements of that character, like the niceness, and they've ran with it.
Yeah.
I obviously didn't have that reaction to it. Obviously.
Well, who was your Simpsons crush?
I didn't have a Simpsons crush.
Huh? Really?
No. Because I didn't find any of them attractive.
You like Mr. Crabapple?
Mrs. Crabapple.
That's what I meant.
She was like a old teacher with like a smoker's voice.
What's wrong with a smoker's voice?
It doesn't work for me unless
no.
it's Natasha.
Ooh, how about
You know, Simpsons porn's a big thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, big thing. Weird.
It's like just in the misogynistic side, or is there like Groundskeeper Willie?
I think they must have run out of characters pretty early in the. Yeah.
That's kind of gross. In fact, that's very gross. In fact, I hate that. I hate that a lot. Do you know what that feels? That feels like,
yeah, there's really no need for it, is there? Like, let's leave
that.
The childhood in the safe space over there.
Yeah, we should cut this. We're gonna cut that whole conversation out. We should cut that whole conversation.
We're not even recording. Check. Well, that was an interesting episode. We covered a lot in there. I taught you something about myself, and I taught you about the history of comedy, and now you can watch the producers, and then you can watch the original, and we could talk about Gene Wilder. Oh, Gene Wilder. Fabulous Gene Wilder. And Zero Mostel, who was blacklisted for being a communist, refusing to name names. This is the problem with your generation. Once it gets to the serious stuff, you stop paying attention.
The serious stuff, comedy.
Communist!
We're ending it there.
Join us next time on I'll Be Mother when we talk about why do people want to have podcasts.